Alright everybody, we are doing Fun Friday recipes. So today we're going to do these. We're going to do the Premier Protein pancake mix. So you can buy them pre-made, but they use whole eggs. And I can't use whole eggs because of egg yolks. And so I'm going to show you guys how I make the Premier Protein using the waffle mix or the pancake mix. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So it's, I make a huge batch for my family, and then we eat it on Saturday morning. So usually I make this on Saturday morning, but today I'm making it for you on Friday. So it's 2 cups. This is for a huge batch. It makes about 12 pancakes in it, so it feeds my family on Saturday and Sunday. So it's 2 cups of mix, 1.5 cups of milk, or water, not milk. They say if you want to add more protein, you add whole eggs, and you can add milk. I don't do all that. So I give that a stir. And they say that it'll be really kind of thick and lumpy. You give it a couple minutes and stir. It will thin up as it goes. So it's made with protein powder. I like to add some stuff to mine, because I always have. Even when I wasn't low carb, I always added things to my pancake mix, and my family loves what I add. So actually what I add is, my family thinks I add sugar, but I don't. I add sweetener. So this is the sweetener I use. It's monk fruit with erythritol. So I add, normally I would add 1 if I was doing a small batch. Since I'm doing a bigger batch, I do 2 of these. And then I do 1 spoonful of baking powder. It makes them nice and fluffy. And then I do 2 splashes of vanilla. And then I just keep stirring it up. It will be lumpy. Pancake mix always is. And like I said, if it's thick, just give it a couple minutes, let it sit, and it'll thin up as it sits there. This is not like regular pancake mix where you'd have to add more water to thin it up and stuff like that. It's it acts a little differently. If you just let it sit there, it kind of thins up on its own. See, it's already thinner than it was a couple minutes ago. That's kind of what you want it to look like. And then I'm going to switch over and go to the griddle. Okay, what you want to do is, of course, you want to butter your griddle. You'll have to excuse, my griddle is as old as our marriage. We got it on our first, it was one of our first gifts when we got married almost 20 years ago. Boy, I tell you, these griddles can last a long time though. So you want to butter your griddle, and then I use an ice cream scoop for mine. I don't know how you guys do yours, but I use an ice cream scoop. To pour mine out. And then, of course, as with all pancakes, you wait till bubbles form on the top. Then you flip it. Wait for the other side to brown. And then you're done. And then I'll show you what they look like when they're finished. While these are cooking, I want to also say you want to have your griddle on 350. And I'm not showing you how to make syrup, but I'll show you guys some syrups that I do like to have. I really like the Maple Grove Farms, so I'll kind of show those. So this is the Maple Grove Farms. This is the maple flavor. So it really does taste like maple. And then this is another Maple Grove. And it's the strawberry. And I tried to find blueberry syrup because that is one thing I really miss is blueberry syrup. But it's super expensive. The cheapest one I could find was like $12 for a small bottle. So I decided to make my own. And basically, it's on my Facebook page also. But basically, you just take 2 cups of frozen blueberries, 1 cup of water, half a cup of sweetener, and then you boil that for about 10 minutes. And then you make a slurry with cornstarch, a tablespoon of cornstarch, and 2 tablespoons of water. Stir that in for 5 minutes. Let that thicken up, and it makes a huge batch. And so I have that in my, well, I have half is in my freezer and half is in my fridge. And so it stays good in the freezer for 5 weeks, and it stays good in your fridge for 5 days. So I have that. And then you could put that blueberry syrup on pancakes, and you could put it in muffins and in your yogurt and all sorts of stuff. Alright, I think it's time to flip these probably. My son is a much better flipper than me. He usually flips them when he's with me on Saturdays. But of course he's at school today. So that's what they look like. Nice and fluffy. The pancake, the baking powder, the added baking powder really helps them to stay fluffy. Per pancakes, I only eat, so 1 serving is like 3 pancakes, but I only eat 1 pancake at a time. This is like my carb for breakfast. So I eat 1 pancake at a time, and it's about let me look. Let me do the math of that real quick. For 1 pancake, it's about 5 grams of protein and about 12 carbs. About 12 carbs. So that's per pancake. Per pancake. So that's what I do. Alright, I'll show you guys the end here in a minute. Okay, so these are the pancakes. So this recipe makes 10 to 12 pancakes, and mine actually made 11, and so that is that. I'm also showing off what I made so it's Mother's Day weekend. So I made keto Duncan Hines, so it's sugar-free chocolate chip brownies, and so I made that for me and my mother this weekend also. So that is Fun Friday recipe weekend. So have a great Mother's Day weekend. Have a great Friday. God bless you.